people. Welcome to the Real Talk Football TV Premier League debate show. Got Tobias, myself, Shaq. All right, we'll go straight into it. Arsenal, Tobias. Absolute joke of a team. Absolute joke of a club, really. For them not to put Man City.
Don't take it. Why you say absolute joke of a club? No, don't kill it. That's straight away. Just getting onto them.
No, straight. No, absolute joke. You know, they've been top for so long. I think it's over 200 days they've been top. Man City have only been top for 26 days.
From August to April, yeah?
Yeah, some madness. So, top for so long. Massive lead. 2-0 up against Liverpool. 2-0 up against West Ham. 3-1 down against the worst team in the league by a country mile at home to get to somehow nick a draw. They threw away the title. I know that this team's young and they could come back, but this is the best opportunity Arsenal will have in years because Man United are coming back. And look, Liverpool showing that they're racking off wins, the rebuild's already started, and they're looking to kick on for next year. I just think that this was the time for them to win it. And, you know, if they did win it, it will show like the Premier League's competitive. But now the Premier League's looking like a farmers league. It's just literally Man City win it regardless every year. Doesn't matter if it's close or not. They always win. I think if you look at the bigger picture, I think this is a flop for them. It's a massive disappointment. It's a failure. Well, I don't know what you think, Tobias, but I think it's a failure.
Bridesmaids, never the bride, man.
Straight.
I think that's what their team's made up of. Odegaard's a good player. I do like Odegaard, but he's got that personality aspect for him. In a bigger club, does he stand out like that? Has he got that Coutinho-esque about him? I think so.
Arsenal's his level.
Ben White, right back. Is that sustainable?
Right. No,
I know they've got Tomiyasu, who just seems to be injury prone as you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to be sustainable. And it was very light around the pitch. I thought they'd done quite good business within January, but they didn't really use the players as much as they could have or should have. I think it's a cop-out to say they've got a young side. And obviously Saliba being out was a massive miss. But that new signing, Kior, whatever his name is, the Polish guy.
Yeah.
They threw him in late. I think they was playing Rob Holding ahead of him. So why spend 20 mil? So I think it was poor management at key times by Arteta. And I do sort of smell the Ole effect. Because don't let it get sticky early on next season because you know Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans are fickle. You see this title running that they've just done? Listen, they'll be throwing him down the river real quick, you know. No, don't. You see them staunch one. Because this is the problem, isn't it? Because, okay, take away the FA Cup because mid-season he come in. So it wasn't really his squad. Since his squad, he's had his squad, which he has spent quite a bit of money on.
Yeah.
It would be 400 mil upwards, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What has that team done and how much more money has to be spent?
I still think they're 4 or 5 players short, to be fair.
4 or 5 players?
I think they need a right back. I think a lot of their players have overachieved. Which I love Saka. I think Saka's amazing. I think he's one of the best wingers in the Prem. But he's overachieved. Maybe he's getting better. I know he's young, but I think Martinelli's overachieved. Partey, the way they were talking about Partey was like prime Seedorf. That's what they were talking about, like Partey's the truth. Partey's overachieved. You're seeing the real Partey now because he can't get in the team. I think their players have overachieved. I think the World Cup effect has helped them. And I think the stability of Arsenal, where Arteta's been there for a few years, that's helped them as well. If you look at Man United, Ten Hag's just coming through the door. Chelsea are in a mess. Liverpool in a rebuild. It's only really Man City and Tottenham are Tottenham, so I don't really class them as a big side. And then you've got Man City or Man City. So really, if you look at the grand scheme of things, they should be where they are, really. But what they had is like over a 10-point lead with games in hand, where they could have wrapped up the league. And they really shot themselves in the foot because I think next year is going to be even tougher. Man United are coming. You see the plan. And this was always going to happen. I've said this. I said, Man United are not going to get it wrong all the time. They're going to get the right manager and they've got the financial backing. So eventually they're going to get it right. I think this was the time for Arsenal to strike when the iron's hot and win it.
I don't fully trust us yet, but obviously you've got the Chelsea issues, Tottenham are forever in issues, Man United are where Arsenal were when Arteta was when they took over, basically.
Yeah.
So what's deemed a success for Arsenal next season then?
I think they've got to come back again. They've got to come back and challenge again.
So anything minimum than a title challenge means what?
I think it's an unsuccessful season. They should be talking. They should be talking about how the media have been talking about Liverpool. That's what it's got to be. Because I look at the team's young. It's not like it's an old team where it's at its peak and maybe it needs a rebuild. They should come again. They should be hurting.
But I find it difficult because how does Arteta add to a young squad with personalities, but try and bring in bigger players?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I think that's going to be very difficult for him. Like his main guys are, how old is Odegaard now? What, 23, 24?
I don't even think he's that. Maybe 23 max. I don't think he's 24 yet.
Saka's what?
And he's a 21?
Captain.
21. Martinelli, same age.
So you got the bigger personalities being the younger players. Saliba again. So how do you upset that dynamic? You can't bring in much players younger than these guys.
They're linked with Declan Rice, and I think that would be a good sign. That would be an upgrade to what they've got. But Declan Rice hasn't got the experience of winning titles. He hasn't got experience of playing in Europe, really, only Conference League level. But I think he's a good player. But I do think that's an upgrade. But it's not a guy who's going to get them. You're going to look at him and think to myself, you know what, Arsenal will go on to the next level. He's not going to do what Van Dijk done or an Alisson, just catapult them into a top side. I don't know if he can do that.
So why are you spending 80 million on him?
Well,
80 million plus. You're talking 80 million minimum. I don't know their transfer, how much they have to spend, but I suspect that over 100 mil or 80 mil on one transfer isn't doing them well. And
that's it. Or they might want 100 million, but they might go for Caicedo, and it might be that in a sense of yes, he's an upgrade, but it could be like Caicedo could be another Basuma, where it's just he's a good system player for that team, and it's very much a bit like Liverpool, where when they do leave, they don't really look the same because the system suits the actual player. And it might happen with Caicedo. You might go to Arsenal, not suit their style.
I think what helps Caicedo is that he just slots in at right back seamlessly. Yeah, it's nothing.
Rattle him, man, immediately.
What are you doing?
Martinelli elbowed the player like, all right, cool with it.
Yeah.
Hold this.
Yeah, you elbowed my winger. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's football. And he should have got sent off for that.
Yeah. It's one of those, but you're getting into VAR, and that's a whole separate conversation. But I just don't. Again, like they haven't. You've got players that they spent big money on. That Vieira, that was what 35, 40 million.
Yeah, they can't get again.
Now you would expect him to be more of an impact player or play more of a part than he has, make more of an effect than what he has. Maybe it could be first season syndrome, but next year. But I don't think they're ready to. They've got time to be buying players for next year now.
No, they've got to buy now.
He's 4 years, potentially. He's 4 years into his reign now.
And the thing is as well, this is the one club you don't want to raise the expectations because as Arsenal fans, they take it too far. So in their heads now, they think they should be winning the Champions League and the league. Like you can't let them get their expectations too high. And that's what Arteta's done. So the pressure's going to be on him because I think they need a right back. They need a midfield player. They need another winger. And I think they need a striker. I like Jesus. He's good. But they need a guy who's going to get him 20 goals. If they got someone like Ivan Toney, I think Ivan Toney scores 20 plus in that team. He plays like Jesus, where he can link the play, but he's going to be in the box.
Jesus is great. But obviously you need more than Jesus. Like Eddie Nketiah showed in a spell this season that
he's not good enough.
But we knew it was as Arsenal season ended, he was a whimper. He was just he was momentary. It was just within that moment. I think it was a month where Eddie couldn't stop scoring and got some losses.
I think Ian Wright touched him, boy. It started turning to like prime Ian Wright for that month.
And then, but but obviously they need more than Jesus. But it's the same. It's the same with everyone, isn't it? I think everyone needs depth. Everyone's looking for the similar type of player, and it's going to be a rat race.
Well, and the thing is as well, I think teams need to take more points off Man City. I'm tired of them winning it every year. I think it's a duty for Liverpool, for Man United, for Chelsea. I'm not even saying Tottenham because I've never classed Tottenham as a big club. Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal.
But Tottenham
Chelsea.
are the ones that have caused Man City trouble in previous years.
Yeah, but they're not going to do anything, bro. They don't. Yeah, they might in the previous season, but they ain't going to do anything. They play the same way, and Son and Kane are not getting any younger. And I think I don't think Kane's declining, but I think Son is. Son is not really the same type of dynamic player. He looks like he's on a decline a little bit. But I think Liverpool's, the Chelsea's, Man United, they have to take more points off Man City. They have to not even come together, but this is the Premier League. It's supposed to be the greatest, but we're getting one team winning the league every single year. Every single year. And I think it's a duty for the other big clubs. They got to come with some sort of plan and take points off them because you can't let them win every year. It's a joke. It's not exciting. It's exciting until the last 5 or 6 games and Man City just rack off the wins and win. I think the other teams need to do better. They've got to do better.
Well, I think that's a given. Like they're racking up points totals of every season of plus 90s.
That's mad.
Like, so
that's crazy.
And it does seem like everyone's in that position where they're showing Man City way too much respect. I think they've got that aura, which is weird. And the underrated players are probably the best players out there. Like the Gundogan just pops up again when you need. Bernardo Silva. It's those underrated players that Pep's got, and he's built a squad. He's built a team. Say what you want about Pep, and people talk about the money. I know we've been here, but yeah, that's a squad there. It's not. It's not a team full of individuals.
No, it's a super manager.
So,
and they will win the Champions League. It's a matter of time. Even if they don't beat Real Madrid, they will win it.
Real Madrid, man.
They will win it.
From that goal that went out, that didn't go out.
It's their time. If it's written
their time, and that's final. That final set up.
Yeah,
for Inter.
They could play their reserves and beat them too.
Listen, man's watching that game Inter versus AC. It was like the vets of the Premier League turning out.
Well, one of the other
Dzeko, Darmian, all of these old dons. I was like, what? Nah, and neither can't get a game in the Prem. Come on.
Real Madrid, Man City is the real final. That's the final. That's the real final, really. Because who wins that, they're going to smash both of them. None of them have got a chance.
And it would have been better over one game, I reckon. I reckon that one game would have been an exciting game.
Yeah. But Arsenal, it's going to be interesting with Arsenal. I think this was their time. I think they will. I won't be surprised they'd be fighting for top 4 next year. No matter who they buy.
I think the disappointing thing for Arsenal is that to go out how you went out, to end your title run with a 3-0 drubbing at home.
Got that work.
That hurts, bro. I think that hurts. You got Ben White was on toast by Matoma.
Yeah, Matoma's doing that work.
Yeah, Ben White he looked like a centre half. He looked like a centre half.
You know what? Matoma's one of them guys, yeah. If you're a fullback and you've got any sort of deficiencies, yeah, that motherfucker will expose it real quick. Like, he's one of them guys that will expose weaknesses real quick because he's got pure technique when he's dribbling in and out, suck you in, chops, step overs, blow you out. If he can start, next couple of years, if he can start scoring goals, I think he can play for anyone. I think he can play for anyone now, but I think if he can start getting, because I've watched him, like he's doing a lot, but when he gets in front of goal, he's not ruthless. And if he can get that ruthless streak, he can play for anyone. I mean, anyone, because he's got.
Mitoma's not young, though. Mitoma's not young, and I don't know how long he could be a Mahrez. To be fair, you know,
he reminds me of Mahrez. He's got Mahrez about him.
He come out of nowhere, and then it was a problem.
You can see him playing at City, that type of style. He's got that Sane type of that dribbling, that balance.
I know, but I just don't know. I don't know what it is. I like Matoma, don't get me wrong. I've got a lot of time for him. But I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. But I think another season at Brighton does him well.
Yeah,
I can't see him leaving Brighton this season.
no, they won't. I think McAllister and Caicedo will leave, but I don't think he will.
I don't even think Alcedo will leave. I thought, why would all right, we're in a position now when it's like you're going to be at Brighton, you're going to be playing some form of European football. Like, why force it? Do you know what I mean?
I hear you.
Where are you going apart from the obvious that guarantees you? Like, and plus,
Nothing
let's say
guaranteed.
Arsenal in the Champions League. Arsenal have waited how long to get back in the Champions League?
And get knocked out in the group stages.
And imagine if you get knocked out in the group stages, though. Like, what's the wait for? Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like the Europa. You can't just half turn up. You can't do that, and that's gonna be 2 games every week, competitive games.
But what you say is quite true, because I think to myself, if you look at everybody else, bar Man City, nothing's guaranteed for you to win trophies. Even if you were at Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, they're not guaranteed that you're going to win trophies. You might play the odd Champions League, you might go deep in the Champions League, but you're not guaranteed to win trophies. Only Man City, you're guaranteed to win trophies.
And then you go to the club, you've got expectations, and you've got people vying for your positions and all the rest of it. Then you're struggling for playtime. Look at Trossard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then next season, do I see Trossard as a star?
No.
Really? I like Trossard.
Good player.
But I don't know if it's gonna.
Maybe it's the prestige
right
play for this club. Maybe prestige play for this club, and plus it comes down to money as well. If you're going to play for a top club and they're going to give you maybe double your wages, I understand it.
Yeah, I think Trossard was a good age. So, but Caicedo and that have got a couple of years left in their tank at that level at what they're at.
Yeah, but they're good enough to walk into Liverpool, a Man United, a Chelsea. I think they're good enough to walk into.
Oh, definitely.
Arsenal. They're
Definitely. Look at our midfield, though. You'll take McAllister or Caicedo immediately.
Yeah.
You can't be a World Cup winner instead at Brighton.
No.
That's why I see McAllister going.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. All right, last bit. Who gets top 4? Because the way Liverpool are playing right now, Liverpool are flying. 7 wins on the spin, 3 back-to-back clean sheets, 3 games in a row, back-to-back clean sheets. I think how many goals they're scoring. Trent is in hot form. Curtis is looking madness.
Listen, for one, don't tell me about Trent. Yeah, because you was killing Trent at one point.
I can't remember that still. I can't remember that.
I can't remember that still. And I, for some unknown, kept it consistent with Trent.
You did.
No, you just got to work out a way to get the best out of Trent. And fair play to Klopp, he has.
So
you got to respect that. The wins that you're talking about racked up, I said at the time, some of them looked a bit dodgy, but points on the board is all that counts. You got the light skin fraternity back. It's like these that have got some care bear powers, boy. Because all of a sudden the Diaz, the Gakpo, the Trents, the Fabinhos, it's just like they're putting all their powers together. The light skin fraternity are back, boy. The Drake playing Drake in the dressing room before the game. They're here. Yeah, we're back. I can't even. It's a concern. I was able to breathe because we beat Wolves over the weekend.
And you play well, to be fair. I watched that game and you're comfortable. Wolves can't score for Toff. They didn't never look like they're going to score. They could have played with 10. You could have played with 10 mannequins up there. They still would have scored.
And I knew today for you was going to walk in the park because Leicester. Listen,
they're terrible.
It was a definition of like too good to go down. It's Leicester, but you look at them players.
Fake.
You wouldn't trust them, man.
No,
these guys. Yeah, you got Tillemans, Madison, Cassagna, they got Daka. I don't mind Harvey Barnes.
Yeah,
they got decent players, man. I said Madison. They got Ndidi. Ndidi has fell off an absolute.
No, he's fell off a cliff, bro.
Samore, I thought was better than that.
Yeah, dead.
Like
their defense is terrible.
Yeah, the Fazen and plus Dean Smith. I said Nigel Pearson last time, sorry, but Dean Smith. Oh, when you see Dean Smith, he's not filling you with confidence. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
You know what I mean? So, it's a hard one. I knew they was going to lay down, but the 3 games left, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's tight. I can't see you chopping a point. Personally, you can't afford to.
You know what? I think it's a big game Thursday. Newcastle, Brighton. The way Brighton played. If Brighton can repeat that again.
But then Brighton are they're point behind you for game in hand.
That's mad. I know. If Brighton win their games, they're point behind. So we could go into the last game of the season where 4 teams can get into the Champions League. It could just chop and change over that last game. And we've got Southampton away. That gives us an advantage. So
easy, the food games you've left till last.
So we've got Aston Villa, Southampton. I personally think Newcastle are the ones who look a bit cagey. Reason being is that they ain't been in this type of situation before. I think you will get over the line because at home you're as good as anybody. So you'll get your points at home. You beat Chelsea. Chelsea are terrible, and
you tried to draw for the pot shout.
Yeah, and you got Bournemouth at home as well. But whatever, you beat them. But I think Newcastle
Bournemouth away and Fulham at home.
Okay. I think you get the results. I think you'll be fine. But I just got a feeling Newcastle going to sneak out. I think they're going to end up being 5th, and I think Liverpool going to nick it in the last game. I think if they win all 9, then yeah, I think they'll do it. I think it'd be hilarious because I think the Premier League will be that. To me, that will show the Premier League's dead. The way Liverpool dead and buried. Really, Liverpool should even be getting Europa League. Really. They've been terrible since the last 7 games. They just racked off 7 wins on the spin.
Yeah. Konate looks beastly though. He's coming into.
Yeah.
Konate looks beastly. Yeah. Told you, man. You got the Care Bears back. You got Curtis.
Yeah.
Curtis Jones. You know. Man, like Mike Jones coming out of nowhere.
I think the new formation suits him, especially because he can play as the 8. I think the 3 midfield doesn't suit him. But now we've got this box midfield with the 2 8s. And he plays and he can get further forward and start scoring. And football's, you know what? Football's mad. Football's about confidence, bro. That it comes down to, bro. It comes down to confidence.
And it's about playing games consistently.
Playing games all the time.
6-7 games.
So games on the spin and you're sharp. Yeah. You feel sharp. Yeah.
So running from.
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys. Like I said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so we can grow. Tobias, I'll leave it to you. Liverpool get top 4, yes or no?
I pray no. But saying that, but you're probably more equipped than anyone else to be in the Champions League, proven over the years. But get you out of there, man. Hopefully, get you the hell out of there.
All right, guys. Make sure. Who do you think Liverpool get top 4? You think Man United or Newcastle? Who's going down? Have Arsenal bottled the title? I think that's an easy question.
But who are going down now? That's what the question I want to know. Who's going down? Shout out my guy Big Sam, even though Bamford killed him.
I know. I think if they beat Newcastle, I'll say, personally, I think they're going to get out of it. I've got a feeling Everton is somehow going to still go down. I'm going to go Everton. I think Nottingham Forest are safe because I think they'll get another point.
Leicester.
I think Leicester are gone. I think it's going to be Southampton, Leicester, Everton. Big Sam is getting out of it.
Big clubs, you know.
I know, massive. Massive.
What, FA Cup winners? When did? What, a year ago? Was it last year they won the FA Cup?
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Yeah.
Yo.
Some huge clubs. But even like I'll see Coventry in the playoffs. I want Coventry to go. I want Coventry to win it. You know. I'd love to see Coventry up. That's old school, bruv.
Yeah, that's
old
back.
School. That's taking it back. Huckabee, Peter Unlove. Them
no
man
Whelan.
No Whelan. I'm telling you, that is old school.
Beastie players. Yeah.
Dion Dublin heading the hell out of you, bruv. Elbows in your chin.
Sure. That's an half.
Yeah.
Bruises in that team, you know. You don't.
And that pitch was terrible. It was just pure mud.
Great pub team, like. Nah, you don't want to play them.
Proper non-league. Yeah, 100%. All right, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We are Real Talk Football TV. We are out.